I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. Nyx Hesperia has joined us. Hi.
Hi, hello.
I appreciate you coming on. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
All right, hi, my name is Nyx Hesperia. I am your local Eldritch VTubing witch, and I am here today to answer some questions.
I appreciate you coming on. And as a Eldritch witch, how did you get started on your VTubing career?
So I've been VTubing for about almost 2 years now. My 2-year anniversary is coming up in October. Like many other people, when COVID hit and everything went to shit. Am I allowed to say that?
Oh yes, absolutely, because it's
okay,
true.
Good. Everything went to hell. I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna go for something that I knew I loved. I loved streaming, and VTubing kind of just fit for me, you know?
Yeah. Were you a VTuber fan before you got started?
Actually, funny enough, I wasn't. I had never watched a VTuber.
Not one time.
Not one time.
So
I vaguely knew about VTubers, but nope, didn't have an Oshi, didn't watch any of them, not even Iron Mouse, like nothing.
So how did this come to be an option for you if you never watched them before?
So, funny enough, it actually started because I wanted a V-Roid model. Because I didn't want to be a face cam streamer.
Okay.
So, I was looking into other options and, good options for beginners and stuff like that. And V-Roid came up. And I made my own little V-Roid from, pieces I found off of Booth. And it was really cute. It was a black-haired fox girl with a rainbow theme. Very different from what I've got right now.
Yeah, not very Eldritch, but okay.
Yeah, not quite Eldritch. But, it sufficed. And then at that point, I kind of, started researching more, what other options are there? What can I do? If this is something I want to do, what else is there,
Yeah, and how did the Eldritch part come in? Are you running around doing Eldritch things offline?
I mean, I really can't say, if Cthulhu comes in, you're gonna blame me, and I don't want to deal with that.
I can understand that. I can understand that.
Plausible deniability.
Yeah. Plus, that and it tends not to go well when you try to record and Cthulhu shows up. It's kind of.
Exactly.
Yeah,
we don't want that to happen. We don't want the interview to be ruined.
No, it tends to glitch the computer in a very bad way. But you got started. Was it easy for you to go? I mean, you're kind of jumping in the deep end.
Honestly, it was actually pretty easy. I had streamed before, but I didn't stream with anything. I just streamed and talked. There was no face cam, there was no little model, there was nothing. So it was easy already for me to stream. So putting a face in the form of a model on that stream, it was fluid, you know?
That's good. Were you always somebody who wanted to be in front of people? Did you get to grab a microphone when you were a kid and sing the national anthem? I mean, was that in your blood?
So funny enough, I actually was very introverted as a child.
Wow.
And then I grew up and I became a ballerina.
Wow, really? Oh.
Yeah, I went to school for ballet.
That's amazing. Now, that is so much work.
Yeah, it is.
And so much, and it's not just, and then people look at and see the athletics involved, and it really is, but there is mental work and everything else that goes into that.
Oh yeah.
To go in a little later into them, folks start that at an early age. That took some courage.
Actually, I started later in life.
Yeah.
If you can believe it.
Yeah. The thing, starting later takes that courage because you didn't have that background.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So was that a smooth thing? Did it take a while? I mean, did you have yourself in shape before you did? Because you better be in shape.
I've always been a very thin-bodied person, so it wasn't too difficult. The flexibility needed to be worked on, obviously, because you can't really ballet without flexibility.
Yes.
But like, it was pretty easy for me because I already had the body build for it, and it kind of just clicked in like a way, when something is good, it clicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did that for me.
Oh, that's wild. I see folks who are into that and start very early, and they're trained into the system, and it's grueling for folks to do that. Did you find it really tough when you started to keep up with them?
Yes, but no. So I got very lucky. When I started, it was in college, and previous to that, I actually was a music major. So I was a vocalist, actually. So the transition from that to ballet wasn't too difficult.
Yeah.
However, the method that I learned, I actually learned the Russian method of ballet, which, as my teacher always said, the basics of Russian method is to nail down safety and ensuring that you understand things from the ground up. So I got to learn in a very safe manner, in a very easy way, that my fundamentals were there. And only then did I move on so I wouldn't hurt myself.
Well, that seems like the best way to do it, and
exactly.
Yeah, because there's so many moves that someone who's not the main focus in one of those things still has to be in incredible shape and know what they're doing, because you can hurt yourself or somebody else. If you're working with a partner in those things, I'll tip my hat to you guys all the way. There's a lot of control involved in there and a lot of discipline. And it's starting off as an old timer, as you were. Did you set right into that discipline? Was it easy for you to fit in?
Yeah, actually, I was able to fit in pretty well, not only because I had an amazing teacher, but also because the people around me were very welcoming, Yeah. So it never felt like I was starting late.
Well, I congratulate you for that, because I'm obviously poking fun at starting later, but really at that age to go into that knowing that some of the folks you're there with have got a 15-year jump on you. That took some guts.
So. Yeah, I loved it, so it didn't really ever feel too tough for me,
Yeah. Well, that's compared to going on and talking to people online, that's nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's
it's a different kind of entertaining, but you know what? It's jumping from one to the next, pretty easy.
Yeah. So you talked about a little bit about vocaling. So are we gonna see a bunch of covers coming from you soon?
I would actually like to. Yes. I need to figure out mixing and stuff like that. That's what's been keeping me from putting out covers. I'm a little scared because I don't know how to do that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds like because you have that. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but since you have the background and you have been a performer before, you really want it to be right, and you don't want to throw out something there that you're not comfortable with. It's very artistic of you.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna keep tweaking it until it's exactly right.
Yeah, part of it also is that my vocal training was classical, so I'm used to I'm used to singing either acoustic or with accompaniment, which is usually piano and or some sort of backup instrument.
Mm-hmm.
So making covers is drastically different.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, you have no band behind you.
Mm-hmm.
You're sending. Some folks sit in a closet and do it with a cover over their head, that type of thing. But it works if it works.
Yeah, if it works, it works.
Yeah, it is very different. It is.
Yeah.
There is no audience there, and your audience is you, and then you won't know about it until you play it back, and then scream because you weren't quite right on that one. So yeah, do it again. Are you ready for take 37?
Yeah, exactly. Like, all right, take 2, take 5, take 20.
I'm going to take 2 of these and call it a night. I think that given if you were able to handle the discipline of being a ballerina, then you'll be able to handle that no problem.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
I sometimes get a little anxious, but I'm trying my best.
Yeah. Now, where did you get started into the ASMR stuff?
So the ASMR stuff was actually fairly recently.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually been a writer for about over a decade now. I'm a little old. I'm on the older side here.
Don't even get me started on old.
Yeah, no, old.
No.
So I'm a little I'm a little on the older side. I've been writing for about a decade, and I never wrote like ASMR scripts before, but I started doing it, and it's actually very fun, which made me want to try it myself. And it just kind of, it clicked again. Like, hey, this is fun. I kind of like this.
Yeah. So when you were writing, maybe you've been writing for a while. Did you write like short stories? Did you write trying to put together a novel, or did you just plain write to write?
Well, both 1 and 3 there. I wrote a lot of short stories. But I also did things like, like cringe Gaia online level role playing stuff. I grew up on that stuff.
Yeah,
so it was sometimes just to write,
Yeah.
but I also did a lot of short stories.
Yeah, excellent. And then that I imagine type of creativity would certainly help you in trying to put scripts together. Although, and again, it's different writing. It's not quite the same.
Yeah, it's not quite the same, but boiling it down, ASMR script writing is basically just telling a story but with fewer words.
Mm-hmm.
You have to make sure that the dialogue itself is telling the story, which I found pretty easy.
Yeah, and you can write in a third person. It's very tough to do ASMR in a third person.
Yeah, no. I don't think I've seen third person ASMR.
I would be like fourth person. I'd be the person in the other room. It's like, oh, that sounds good.
The narrator in the other room,
that's right.
Watching, just being like, hey.
That would be the extent of my voice acting. I'm the narrator. That's about the only thing I did when I was in grade school. I was the narrator for these things.
You know what? It works. Yeah. I mean, we all need narrators,
I hope so, because otherwise, what am I going to be doing? That performance type, when you record it and do the script, and you hear it back, what is your response to it? Are you like, I really did that, or I'm going to do it again because it's not quite right?
Sometimes I want to do it again because it's not quite right, like recording for covers or songs or anything like that. Mm-hmm. It's not always going to be right the first try. What I end up trying to do is when I'm doing script reading, I actually separate it up into multiple recordings. Just to ensure that, like, if one goes wrong, then I can re-record that section,
Yeah.
But, most of the time, I'm okay with it. Like, because it's ASMR, as long as it sounds natural, like you're having a natural discussion with the listener, it comes out good,
Yeah, cool. That sounds like you're an extremely creative person.
I try.
Stop it. You're making this all look bad.
Oh, no. Okay, I'll turn it down just a little.
No, don't worry. I can look bad all my own. I don't need any help. I've been doing that for a long, long time. Being a part of the VTuber community, have you found it to be? I know you recently have not that long ago. How do I put this correctly? Discovered some things about yourself.
Yes. So you were probably talking about my pinned post. That is okay. So to explain this, I was uncomfortable with my previous model because of my own gender expression. And it made me realize that I was not quite as gender conforming as I thought I was.
Yeah.
And being part of the VTubing community like that, it is interesting. VTubing is always going to be a show. People want to see entertainment.
Right.
Whether you are only a little bit pretending or a lot of bit pretending and being a full actor.
Right.
There's stuff in between that. But I always want to be true to myself. You know what I mean?
Right. And if folks we're talking about Nyx has a pinned post that explains a lot of it, and we will have all the links, believe me, in the description. I don't want you to have to read the whole thing, but the gist of it was, in my view, that what you were portraying on your streams wasn't quite comfortable with the way that you actually were.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So you tweaked it.
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah.
Just a little tweaking.
Yeah.
It feels better already, though, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah. And have you found that to be in this community, which sometimes can be very accepting and sometimes can be not accepting at all? Have you found it to be accepting?
Yeah, actually, I was very nervous when I was going through the whole thing because rebranding is not always looked upon quite nicely.
No.
If you do it multiple times, you're seen as flaky. So I was worried. I was worried that A, I was going to get dinged for that, or
right.
B, somebody was going to not understand or not quite grasp what I was feeling, which is very understandable. Being gender fluid is not very well known to people, and there's a lot of misinformation out there about it.
And I imagine there's
I was worried.
Yeah, I imagine there's a lot of people who don't even know that they are. They can
exactly.
be part of it, and I don't know how you found out, obviously, but it's people. I'm talking about it being an old man from the 70s and 80s here. I'm trying to keep up, but forgive me if I'm not quite there yet.
Oh no, you're fine.
How bad was the level of uncomfortable when you were, because you say in the pinned audio you were having fun streaming, but was it something just eating at the back of your head every time you did it?
Kind of. So to get into a little bit more specifics for those who want to understand, gender fluid, or at least gender fluidity as it represents me, comes with mental issues. It is a mental problem. There is dysphoria, just like a trans person would go through. The difference for me is transitioning would not fix what I feel. Only trying to represent in a comfortable way would fix it. So when I was representing as my older model, it was, yes, in the back of my mind, a kind of uncomfortable feeling, but it was also, I couldn't look at myself. There were days where I would feel like my skin was wrong. My hands, they look weird. They're not my hands, Right. I can't look in the mirror because who is that person? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I can't I can't empathize with it because I haven't been there, but I can understand what you're saying, and that has to feel you have to feel lost at that
Yeah,
point.
very much so.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you were able to put that find a way to get comfortable with yourself and continue to do what you obviously love doing online, and has it been what you wanted since then?
Actually, yeah, I would say so. It's been a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
It feels like me now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it feels more true to who I see myself as, and there's a lot less uncomfortable. Oh my god, that word is hard.
Yeah.
I don't feel not so uncomfy anymore.
Wow, take that, English teachers.
Yeah. I'm not a decades writer. No writing here.
I does writing good.
I write good for many years.
I think I kind of understand. It's been very, back when I was your age, back in the Stone Age. It wasn't easy for folks who were in your type of situation to be able to present themselves in such a way. First of all, you wouldn't have this VTuber type thing to do. Secondly, folks were pigeonholed very quickly. And to me, it sounds like the gender fluid type is definitely not pigeonholing. It's a very big umbrella.
Yeah, absolutely. So, before this, I went by non-binary because I knew something was off,
Right.
But it wasn't, it wasn't too off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But exploring more about myself, and I feel very lucky that I live in a time where I can do this. Because again, as you said, not everyone was lucky enough to be able to embrace themselves in the way that I am able to.
Yeah.
It's something that I am grateful that I can do.
Yeah.
And also that I find now I want to be more vocal about it, just because gender fluidity isn't understood.
No.
Most people have misconceptions about it. There's so much misinformation, and like you said, like some people may not even know if they are or are not.
Yeah.
And I want to be open about it because I want to be able to help other people understand,
Yeah, and I think you're going to be able to do that just by being you.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a lot of fun, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it really is. It's great to meet you and talk to you like this, and I do appreciate you talking about that. A lot of people would be uncomfortable with it, but I think one of the biggest points was you wanted to be comfortable in your own skin, and now you seem like you are.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot more. Not that I wasn't enjoying VTubing before, but once you got a weight lifted off your shoulders, it's kind of a lot better.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you're online, what type of content are you doing? Some of the SMR stuff, obviously, but what types of other things do you do?
So I actually started off as a gaming streamer. I was a variety streamer.
Yeah.
I did a lot of like indie games and stuff like that. Some cozy, some not so cozy.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I started.
Yeah. And just kind of branched out from there a little bit. Is there one specific genre you like to play?
I'm gonna cheat and say there's two specific ones. I really love MMOs. My main MMO and one that I have been streaming on my channel for a while now, Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
But I also really love like farming sims,
Ah.
Yeah, I'm really into farming sims. They've been my favorite since I was a child, and I started with Harvest Moon.
Yeah. Is one of those Stardew Valley?
Actually, funny enough, I don't like Stardew Valley.
Really?
I am a avid Stardew Valley hater.
Wow, you're the first person I've met.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand where it'll get to you, but I have 30 save files plus, and I've tried to stay away from it. Otherwise, I won't get anything else done.
That's like me with Sunhaven. So Sunhaven is my preferred choice versus Stardew Valley. I restart so many times. I've got so many saves. Like it's all over the place, but I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Are those games really good for streaming? Are you able to bring the chat involved with those?
Not so much, but like that's kind of okay because they're not that kind of game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're more for cozy.
Yeah, kind of going on while you're talking with chat. that's
exactly.
going on in the background. Well, I mean, it sounds like to me you've got everything going, and I'm glad that you're able to be comfortable now with what you're doing. It's so important, no matter what you're doing, whether you're going on in front of potentially the entire world like you're doing. Everybody with a device could literally tune into what you're doing, or whether you're just working at the local I was going to say video rental store, but they don't have those anymore.
Yeah, they don't have those.
Hey man, I'm a very old
gone.
Man. I say local sandwich shop. How about that? You want to
Subway.
You want to be you had to be comfortable, and with that comes a feeling that translates over to what your interaction is with chat and with your watchers. If you're comfortable, they're going to be more comfortable.
Exactly.
Well, and it sounds like you've got that down.
Yeah, I try really hard. It's something that I love doing, so I want to continue to love doing it.
Yeah. So what's next? I know you got your 2-year coming up, right?
Yes, so I've got my 2-year anniversary coming up in October, which is actually when my birthday is, so I kind of lump them together and do a birthday-versary.
There you go. Is it going to be a 74-hour Nyx-a-thon?
Oh, God, no. So what I do is I just do a month-long, event, and I get collabs going, and I really, I want to release a special video this year. Just kind of, engage with my audience, because I'm happy that they've been there for me for so freaking long,
Yeah.
Like, they've been with me through almost 2 birthdays now.
Yeah.
That's always really important to me.
It is. It's refreshing to hear that they're coming along with you for the ride.
Exactly.
And they're interested. I tell folks all the time, no matter what you're doing online, they're coming back for you. And they're wanting to be a part of it, and sounds like in a healthy way. I wish you absolutely nothing but the best going forward with what you got going on.
Thank you.
Please come back and let us know what's going on before you do your second update, and we'll let folks know to head over there. And all the links are going to be in the description for the interview here. And again, just tremendous to talk with you. Nice to meet you. And you sound like a person who's got it all together.
Oh, no, I don't. But you know what? I'm trying, and if I can seem that way, then that's enough,
Oh, I was trying to help you out there. I'm going to go back and edit that out.
No!
She has it all. They have it all together. Thank you so much for coming on. And again, we'll get you on here real soon and talk about that second anniversary coming up.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I really liked this. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.